Right now, there is an unintentional interaction going on in Destiny, and I love it. Listen, in the past there have been plenty of quote-unquote broken exotics or aspects in mods, many of which I never really used because they usually were on pieces of armor I didn't use or were on a subclass I hardly touched. But not today, baby! I've always been a huge fan of Malfeasance handcannon. Some would say there are better options out there, and to that, shut up, it looks cool. In case you didn't know, Malfeasance is a 180 RPM exotic handcannon in the kinetic slot. The exotic perks are Taken Predator, which deals bonus damage against Taken combatants and Gambit invaders, and Explosive Shadow, which shoots tainted slugs that burrow into combatants. Stacking enough slugs causes them all to explode, stunning surviving combatants. It's strong against unstoppable champions. The Catalyst is Vorpal Weapon, which deals more damage against bosses and guardians with their supers active in PvP, but with intrinsic unstoppable I find a lot of good use in this. But this season there's something interesting happening here. In the artifact for Season of the Witch, there's Overload Handcannon, but once you put on your Lucky Pants, that's when things get a little spicy. Lucky Pants are exotic legs for hunters mainly built around the use of hand cannons. The perk illegally modded holster acts as follows. When you ready a fully loaded hand cannon that deals kinetic damage, or a damage type that matches your subclass energy type, each hit from that hand cannon increases the damage of the next shot for a short time against a combatant. Hand cannons ready faster and are more accurate immediately after swapping to them. Provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of hand cannons while the buff is active. So you get 20 airborne effectiveness, 100 handling to ready speed, 0.6 times ready animation duration multiplier, and negative 40% accuracy cone size for 4 seconds on readying, therefore kind of making your shots a little stickier. Upon readying a fully loaded kinetic or matching element hand cannon in PvE, 60% increased damage per hit for 5.5 seconds, maxes out at 600% after 10 hits. See, without Lucky Pants, the burrowing shot deals around 3,000 damage per tick, but once a legally modded holster is procced with a fully loaded hand cannon, sheesh, upwards of 15,000 per tick, absolutely melting through bosses and yellow bars, dropping light bearers in a single burst, making absolute light work of mini bosses and even main bosses. Just to test my theory here, I LFG'd into a Ghost of the Deep dungeon, the final encounter, just to see what kind of numbers it would do. And here are those numbers. My fire team was using rockets and linears while I exclusively used Malfeasance with Lucky Pants, and damn! And this was without Well, so chuck Well into the mix and you're in for some absurd numbers. But with all bugs, you know, they must come to an end. Obviously, this isn't an intentional interaction here, so we can expect something to be done about this. But my question is when? The Weave Walk strand aspect for Warlocks was disabled after it turned Guardians into walking bosses, but nothing has been said about Malfeasance. Probably comparing apples to oranges here, but with Crotasend coming back this Friday and a raid race on our hands, I'm hedging my bets on Malfeasance or Lucky Pants being disabled. Unfortunate because Malfeasance is already a staple in my loadout, but the hand cannon is probably getting the axe because it seems to be a Malfeasance only type of bug. So if y'all want to do some crazy numbers, jump into some raids and dungeons and take advantage of this Malfeasance meta. I'm loving it. What are your thoughts on the bug right now? Do you use the Malfeasance much? Could it use a damage boost like this? Has the bug gotten you to use the Malfeasance more than you usually would? Do you think it's getting the old ban in the day one raid race? Leave your thoughts down below and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Deuces.